first crusaders who passed through Hungary caused massive problems for the country, burning granaries, abducting women, massacring thousands, and committing pogroms. The unlikely king who had to deal with this was Kalman, also known as Kálmán the Bookish, Kálmán the Bibliophile, or Kálmán the Book Lover. He was allegedly half-blind and hunchbacked, originally trained for a church career, and the circumstances around his ascension to the throne are pretty unknown. But the first problem that he had to deal with as king was the havoc the first crusaders were causing as they passed through Hungary on their way to the Levant. Hungary was an important transit area for many medieval pilgrims, and historically Hungary supplied many with food and other resources. But as tens of thousands of these crusaders, led by Walter Sansavoir and Peter the Hermit, passed through, they caused some horrible problems for the local Hungarians. At first, Kalman was friendly, allowing crusaders to buy food in the markets even though the harvest had not yet started. But records indicate that crusaders burned public granaries, abducted women, and committed other acts of horrible violence in Hungary. It was claimed by some of these crusaders that it was in retaliation for the robbing of 16 crusaders by, quote, certain Hungarians with evil minds. But eventually, contemporary sources wrote the crusaders besieged the town of Zimony and massacred nearly 4,000 Hungarians. Kalman's troops forced those crusaders to end their siege, but the crusader problems kept coming. Crusaders began pillaging and besieging other settlements, and Kalman even prepared to flee to the Kievan Rus, fearing that the crusaders might occupy the whole country. But eventually a panic broke out among the sieging crusaders that allowed Kalman to overtake them. Canons recording the event attributed the crusaders' defeat to divine retribution for the many Jews that they had massacred. Kalman then forbade entry by any new crusaders into Hungary. But after further negotiations with the Holy See, Kalman allowed Godfrey of Bouillon's crusader army to pass through the country, just as long as Godfrey's brother stayed with the king as a hostage, and their army passed through Hungary with no further incident. Well, no further incident to Hungary, at least. Kálmán the Bookish wound up becoming a very influential king of Hungary, invading and taking over Croatia and announcing decrees that would last for many years to come. And, well, he also probably blinded his brother and his infant nephew, who would go on to father the line of all future Hungarian kings of that dynasty. But ever the book lover, he did assemble the first compilation of Hungarian historical records. And if you like going through such records and exploring some of the enigmas of Hungarian history and anthropology, subscribe to the Turan Explorer podcast.